Are you trying to build the best gaming PC build this June 2021? Well, then you're at the right place. Welcome to the Gaming PC Builds of the Month, brought to you by Noob Computer Build. My name is Corey. Welcome to the most recent builds of the month. We have all the builds as per usual. The $1,500, the $1,000, the $800, and $500 gaming PC builds should cover most people out there, at least most people that I'm speaking to, I hope. But let's get on with the updates for June 2021. What's changed? If you've been trying to build for a while, no surprises here. It's been a little hard to get your hands on graphics cards due to various reasons. I've mentioned this in previous months, such as in our why is it so hard to build why is it so hard to get a GPU shortage 2021? Wow, the 2021 GPU shortage, but why? So there's a few reasons that people can't get their hands on graphics cards. As I said previously, there's scalpers out there. There's GPUs are money-making machines for the crypto market, so people are mining with them. There's a worldwide semiconductor shortage and so on and so forth. But so how do you get your hands on a GPU? There's a few different things you can try out, and if things are getting a little better, the best bet is to just keep trying, keep checking every single day at various places that you can get your graphics cards, and you'll come across one eventually. But you can try things like a sales tracker, nowinstock.net, or the Newegg Shuffle. That's another one. You can hit F5 over and over on the sales page of the GPU you want. That sometimes works. Try for pre-orders or join kind of Discord groups with Discord bots and so on and so forth. But anyways, let's get on with the builds. Some of the other updates, Intel Rocket Lake processors were released not too long ago here, but the one, and I just want to point out the CPUs that we are concerned with. There is the Intel i5-11600K was released. It's a really good CPU, and it is a very good contender for the Ryzen 5 5600K, which you'll see in one of the builds here. However, we're sticking with the Ryzen 5 5600K, but you wouldn't be you wouldn't be at fault to go with the i5-11600K too. So it's kind of up to you, but we're sticking with the Ryzen 5 5600K. The other CPU that came out that could have been a contender is the i9-11900K. That could have replaced the CPU alternative in the $1,500 build. However, it's not that good in terms of the cost per performance. The most exciting one that I want to point out is this one here, the i5-11400F, which is the graphics-less CPU from Intel. That is a contender for the Ryzen 5 3600 in the current builds that we have. So we've sticked with the Ryzen 5 3600, but the 11400F I would recommend over top of that, but that would be considering cost. So right now this is at $169.99, and the Ryzen 5 3600 is at it's not $259.99. It's actually included in our builds at a little lower than that, $199.99 I believe it is. So it's a little cheaper, and then considering the motherboards for compatible motherboards for this processor are actually more expensive, which makes the cost per performance not worth it in my opinion in the builds that I at least include the 3600 in. So let's get started with the $1,500 gaming PC build of the month for June 2021. The CPU we have for this one is the Ryzen 5 5600X, coming in at $299.99 at the start of June here. We're including the stock AMD Race Stealth cooler here. Motherboard we have is Asus AM4 Tough Gaming X570 Plus. Motherboard $177.99. Graphics card, and this is where the caveat comes in. Recommended here is the Zotac Gaming GeForce RTX 3070. Not in stock. You can try other 3070s out there too, but make sure to kind of search around and find one that's right for you. Guesstimated price could be anywhere from $530 at MSRP to $740 kind of roughly for this one here, but don't go crazy. Don't buy from scalpers and pay like $1,100 for an RTX 3070. Just stupid. Don't do it. Alternative cards that you can get, there's the older RTX 2070 Super, which could be viable too. Still low in supply, as are all GPUs, but that could be another one if you can find that as well. But if not, yeah, just keep trying. The memory we have here is the Crucial Ballistics 3600 gigabyte or 3600 megahertz DDR4 RAM at $87.99. Storage is a Crucial P2 1 terabyte NVMe SSD at $120.33, and the power supply is EVGA 220GA Supernova 750GA 80 plus gold rated 750 watt power supply, $125.99. I just want to mention I've switched these up every month just because the power supplies have kind of been a little wonky in terms of supply these days, but you can get your hands on one no problem, but it's kind of they go out of supply for some reason now and then. I don't know what the reason is lately, but so you can check back in older months builds if you want other recommendations, but these ones are in stock right now. PC case we have here is the Cooler Master Box MB511 with ARGB lighting in it at $89.99, and the estimated price for this build, assuming you can get a GPU, can be anywhere from $1,431 to $1,641 at the start of June 2021. Moving on to the next build, the $1,000 build for June 2021. This is where we have the Ryzen 5 3600 CPU at $209.99. This is what I was talking about. You could get this processor instead, but then you need a compatible motherboard to go with it. But that's essentially what you could get instead, assuming prices were aligned. But however, if you want to get the price at $1,000, you're better off going this way. Cooler we have here is a Ray Stealth cooler included. Motherboard ASRock B550 Phantom Gaming 4 at $96. Graphics card we have here is the MSI Gaming GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. Again, very low in stock, so keep checking around for those. Guesstimated price anywhere from $400 to $650 at MSRP, starting at MSRP there, with theoretically in stock costs. Memory we have is Crucial Ballistics 3600 MHz kit at 16GB kit at $87.99. Storage we have is a Crucial P2 500GB NVMe SSD at $57.99. Power supply is the EVGA Supernova 650GA 650 watt power supply at $78, and then the case is the Fantex Eclipse P360A at $59.99. Estimated cost anywhere from $990 to $1,240. Just the reality of building a PC these days. But things are getting better. Okay, here we are with the best $800 gaming PC build of the month for June 2021. Again, the CPU we have is the AMD Ryzen 5 3600 at $209.99, coming in with the Ray Stealth cooler included. We have a micro ATX ASRock B550M HDV. Graphics card we have is the MSI Gaming Radeon RX 5600 XT, assuming in stock, and a theoretical price of $279.99. Alternative cards, if you can't find that one, that don't perform quite as well, could be the GTX 1660 Super, GTX 1660 Regular, or the RX 5500 XT. Memory we have is the Crucial Ballistics 3600 MHz kit of 16GB kit of Crucial Ballistics RAM at $87.99. SSD or storage we have is the Crucial P2 500GB NVMe SSD at $57.99. Power supply is a little bit different this month. This is the Apivia Prestige 600 watt power supply at $54.99. And then the case we have is a kind of the classic micro ATX case. Here's the Cooler Master Masterbox Q300L at $54.99, and this build comes out to a total of $865 at the start of June 2021. The next one we have here is the $500 gaming PC build of the month. This is the the $500 build is we're using a CPU with integrated graphics, which means you do not need to buy a graphics card. I did this intentionally because for this build you do not need to search for a graphics card. That is not existent at the moment, but just get up on gaming. Mind you, it'll be at very low settings and scaled back, but it gives you the option to add a graphics card in the future. So this is going with the AMD Ryzen 5 3400G Ryzen CPU, and then we have it comes in at $389.99. However, if you do want a cheaper, higher performing CPU, you can go with a Ryzen 3 3300X 4-core CPU, but you will need a graphics card, which I'll give an option below at $189.99. Cooler is the AMD Ray Stealth cooler, which is included. The motherboard is a micro ATX Asus Prime B450MA, which comes in at $79.99. And then the graphics, depending on if you go the integrated CPU, you get integrated Radeon RX graphics. Alternative graphics card, if you get the other CPU, is the GeForce GTX 1650. Other cards you could get is the GTX 1050 Ti or the RX 560. And then the RAM we have is the Patriot Viper Steel DDR4 8GB kit. That's two 4GB sticks at 3200 MHz RAM, $52.99. Storage is a PNY CS900 240GB SSD at $32.99. And then the power supply here we have is a Thermaltake Smart RGB 500 power supply at $54.99. Again, I usually have the Thermaltake Smart 500 watt here. They're not in stock at the moment, or if they are, they're more expensive than this one. So here's the RGB version. But if the other one goes down in price and you just want to save money, go with the regular Thermaltake Smart 500 watt. Then the case we have here again is the Cooler Master Masterbox Q300L. Oops, there it is. Q300L. Where are we here? Micro ATX case at $48.99, and then the price for June 2021 is $559, so a little over that $500 mark, just where we're at with the prices of hardware these days. But yeah, that does it for the builds this month. If you visit the site, You can dive deeper into these builds as to why I chose the hardware on the respective hardware pages for each of the build budgets. As well, there's more gaming PC builds on the site, or you can leave a comment here, either on the video, on the site. I'll help you out if you're building your first or next or 10th gaming PC. But until next month, best of luck building.